Well, hello, everybody, and welcome in. It's a Friday evening here on the Fightful YouTube channel. We are way late getting started, and you're probably wondering why I'm here right now. I'm supposed to be here with Kate. Kate is having some internet connectivity issues. So the substitute co-host is now in the Captain Kirk swivel chair for hopefully just a few more minutes while Kate is getting herself situated. And yes, Collision was very different today. Don't worry, I will actually be back for Collision tomorrow night with SP3 and hopefully Iridian as well. And yes, the comments are already pouring in. Classic Kate with her classic internet issues. So yes, we are here on a Friday night. We got what I think to be a pretty good episode of Friday Night Smackdown to discuss. We all know that's not normally the case. It's been very meh at best for a while. I definitely think there were some things that happened in a positive direction for this show. And this is coming from a guy who was at last week's SmackDown live with my daughter. Took my daughter to her first show ever. It was an absolute blast just being there with her. She's 6 years old. And she was honestly, my entertainment for the evening. I thought today's show from a wrestling standpoint, from a storyline standpoint, was significantly better than what we've seen. Still room for improvement. But obviously we will dive into all of that. Get your super chats in. I do not have access to the Humper chats. So until Kate arrives, we will do super chats only for right now. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you don't know who I am, by the way, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rick Ucchino. Not only do I typically host the AEW Collision review show with SP3 and Cresta and Iridian on Saturday nights, I am also the assistant editor and one of the main columnists over on the Takedown on Sports Illustrated. Yes, that same one that Becky Lynch is constantly annoying people with week in and week out. I'm one of the main guys over there. Kate asked me to help fill in tonight, and now I am rocking this son of a gun solo until she can get her internet issues figured out. So get those super chats in, like Orion Ben 666. Rick, you missed RJ City acting as security at the New York Comic-Con. Yeah, there was a lot of action at the Comic-Con, because didn't Darby Allin also or not Darby Allin? Yeah, Darby Allin. Didn't he attack John Moxley there as well? So there was a lot of action that was going on there as well. But yes, we will be talking. And yes, I know that is a vicious lie. That is a vicious lie. But I'm willing to commit to the bit if it all makes you happy. Let's dive on into this show, shall we? This was a stack card. Obviously, this was recorded earlier in the day. And just kind of seeing the results of the show as they unfolded genuinely got me excited to watch it in its entirety tonight. I couldn't watch it on a VPN this morning because I have a day job at a radio station. So I was able to kind of monitor what was going on. But it was nice to tune in and check out this show. And what was on it had me excited. Yes, we had the last man standing match between Aleister Black and Damian Priest. We had the tag title match tonight. Cody Rhodes is going to be on the show. Another Sami Zayn U.S. Open challenge. But we also had some major returns on the show tonight, and I was excited to see the creative direction that was going. So let's talk about the opening promo first. We had Cody Rhodes coming out. He gets another just thunderous ovation from pretty much he gets great ovations wherever he goes, but it just seems to get taken to the next level when he is in the overseas markets. Perth absolutely loved the guy. They're singing songs for him. They're chanting his name. He starts talking about Seth Rollins and diving into Seth's attitude toward their clash tomorrow morning, I should say, at Crown Jewel for the 2025 Men's Crown Jewel Championship. And he starts talking about how Seth is taking Rhodes' moniker as this QB1 a little too seriously. Like he's taking it so much to heart that Cody considers himself the guy in WWE, and maybe takes it as a slight toward his own accomplishments and his own efforts to keep WWE relevant and bring it to where it is today, now on Netflix and ESPN and all of these great networks, right? Cody says, "Hey, look, man, it's just a nickname. It's just a nickname, and simply put, he is just a part of the greatest team in WWE history. On any given night, any number of superstars could carry the weight of being the top guy or gal in the company." And then he named all the R's: Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Rhea Ripley, also threw out Jey Uso, CM Punk, and even gave credit to Seth himself. Now, it was at this point, though, that the crowd started chanting that Seth is a wanker, in which Cody had a bit of fun with that. He was trying to get Michael Cole to repeat what the crowd was said, tossed the microphone over to Michael. Now, either that man did not want to repeat what was said, or he genuinely could not hear. So he tossed it over to Wade Barrett, who clearly understood what they were saying. And Wade Barrett said, they are calling him a wanker, and which the crowd absolutely rejoiced in that moment, and then tossed the mic back to Cody. What is it about WWE guys just being able to catch a microphone like it's no big deal? We had Brock to Roman a few years ago. Now we're getting Cody tossing it to Michael Cole. He's catching it. Wade Barrett throwing it back to Cody. He's catching it one-handed between the title belts. Everybody in WWE got hands, apparently. But Cody then said that, and I'm going to sum it up here because he said a lot here, but said that Seth was kind of falling into this trap of letting his love for WWE and wanting it to thrive and have a prosperous future. He's falling into this trap and turning it into this endless quest for power. And Cody promised, "Hey, look, I'm going to do what I always do when I face Seth Rollins, and that's I'm going to beat him. He is the one guy that Seth Rollins cannot defeat." And I genuinely like that they're taking two different approaches to this match. And neither one of them really honestly seems to care about the Crown Jewel Championship. Seth Rollins is looking at this personally. He's looking at this as, I am 0-3 against this guy. And if I lose to him again, everything I've built over the last few months is going to absolutely crumble. It's going to fall apart, just like Paul Heyman laid it out for him on Monday Night Raw. You're going to lose. He's going to lose the confidence of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. He is seriously going to have to start questioning Paul Heyman, that is, why he picked Seth Rollins over Roman Reigns if he cannot defeat Cody Rhodes in a one-on-one matchup. And Seth has really, really taken this personally and deeply to the point where that confident, cocky facade that we're so used to seeing has now been peeled back. And for the first time, we're really starting to see some vulnerability in Seth, some insecurity in Seth, and self-doubt about whether or not that he can beat Cody Rhodes and what it's going to mean if he loses. And he's really been stoic for the last couple of weeks. Monday Night Raw twice now. He's listening to we assume listening to his wife just complaining ad nauseum about everything that's going wrong in her life. And he's just sitting there staring at this watch that Cody Rhodes gave him at WrestleMania 40 for helping him win the WWE Championship. And that's all that man has been doing for weeks now. That's what he did at the Crown Jewel kickoff in Perth. Stared at his watch, didn't feel like conversing with the crowd, and he left. He just walked off. Cody Rhodes, meanwhile, is calm, cool, collected, confident, knowing that he's beat Seth Rollins 3 times, believes he's going to beat him a 4th. There is all the nuance and depth in this program that I wish existed for Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Vaquer. they don't have the history, unfortunately, to dive into. So really, they can only kind of lean in on, hey, I'm awesome, and hey, I'm awesome. So let's let the best woman win on Saturday. So I'm enjoying what we're seeing out of Seth and Cody and their different approaches to this match. I still think Seth Rollins is going to win tomorrow. And frankly, Cody kind of owes him one. If you really think about it, Cody came back at WrestleMania 38. Who was there to put him over? Big time. In a critical juncture in his career, Seth Rollins. Face that man in Hell in a Cell with a torn pec. Put him over again. Sacrificed everything that he possessed in WWE to help Cody Rhodes win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Cody kind of owes this man tomorrow. So hopefully, Seth will get his win. That said, as Kate arrives.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I've just been bloviating for the past 11 minutes. So, you know.
Oh my God. There's a $10 word if you ever heard one. My God. Sorry, we are under precarious weather predictions here in Jersey. We're under a emergency watch for tomorrow, but some of the effects have already kicked in today. So apologies that I couldn't get started, but Rick is such a damn pro. I had no problem being like, get out there, kid. You're starting. You're our QB1 today, Rick. How are you?
Hey, look, we are just part of a great team here where honestly, if somebody is unable to carry their weight on a given night, whether it's technical issues or whatever, we have a lot of people who can step up and carry the load. And that was pretty much the sentiment of Cody Rhodes in his opening segment. I've talked ad nauseum about what I thought about the opening segment here tonight. Basically, to sum it up for you, I love the nuance and the history of the storytelling and the different approaches that both men are taking toward this match tomorrow. And it has all of the history and nuance and layers to their match that I wish Stephanie and Tiffany had, but they don't have the history to kind of lean on here. But what did you think of Cody's opening promo tonight?
Well, first of all, you're right. We do have a great team here, and all of them are better than Joe Flacco if you need a substitute, I gotta say. So
don't remind me.
So I do appreciate you, Rick. I'll do some beginning of the show pleasantries too about getting into your super chats and your humper chats, and a quick Fightful Select promo before we dive in too far. We had such a loaded week over there. We had the Santos Escobar news, which was a fun saga to watch unfold. We had both members of this heel New Day alignment re-signing as well. A monster report on the Nielsen rating implications. And that was just the front half of the week, man. We had plenty more going on up there too. So let me get back into hosting mode proper. And now I'll tell you my thoughts on this Cody stuff. So there's aspects of this that I like, and there's aspects of this that I don't. I feel like I love that Seth has to kind of prove himself to Cody because he is 0-3 against him. That feels kind of like an inherently babyface arc, though. So I don't know like how much like that I have to go prove myself thing. Certainly feels face-ish. But I do always appreciate like when we play off of history. I have so far liked the way Cody has poised himself in this second heel run. Like I feel like today's promo wasn't the direction I love, but we've gotten so far away from like the crocodile tears and the really dramatic delivery. He sounds so much more human to me this time around. And I really appreciate that. This was a little bit more the old school style, but this is also the go home to the pay-per-view segment, right? Like it's almost poised to be one of those. I didn't know wanker was such a dirty word, but that was what I learned the most from this segment was wanker is a hot topic in Australia as far as an insult goes.
Did you think that Michael Cole was too embarrassed to say it, or did he not genuinely not understand what the crowd was saying?
My guess is would like he of anybody I feel like has people in his ear the most, and he had his headphones on, so I'm guessing he couldn't make it out. But if anyone's gonna have made it out, it's gonna have been Wade Barrett.
Yes.
That guy
and he had no problem.
knows what he's hearing there.
He had no problems standing up loud and proud and saying the word wanker on USA Network. Yeah, I was genuinely surprised they kept that in, to be honest with you. But it was such a fun moment, and it was just, again, Cody being just having fun in that moment and being playful and bringing in the commentators. It was such a cool little moment. I'm glad they kept that in.
They couldn't really cut it out. Like, it kind of overtook the entire segment. But to your point, one thing I love about Cody is, like, he does have this connection with the crowd, and he's so good. It makes sense that MJF was mentored by him, because he does this on the heel side too. He knows exactly when and how long to lean into things. I feel like there's some people that just have a feel for that, and he knows kind of when to let things ride and how to then control the room back to his own on the other side of it. And I've always said this about Cody. I think he's one of the most effective promos in the world at using volume as a device. Like, he is so good at giving breathing room to stuff and modulating his voice to command, because sometimes there's something much more powerful about the guy who is like calm, collected, and poised than there is about the guy that's shouting at you. And that's something I've always appreciated about Cody. So the crux of this is, like, I think Cody did a really good job with what he was given today, but this match doesn't mean anything, and you can't call someone the undisputed champion when there's people disputing it. Like, that's kind of my issue with the overall story, but they have enough history to play off of, and these two are both great in-ring storytellers. Like, I think it'll do what it needs to do tomorrow on the go home.
Yeah, the thing I love about this is that the men's crown jewel championship is so secondary to what the story is. Like, where it is the anchor for Stephanie and Tiffany, that crown jewel championship might as well not even exist, the way that both of these guys are approaching this matchup. It's just business as usual for Cody, where he's like, I've beaten this guy 3 times before. I know I one time with one freaking arm, I had a torn pec and I beat him. I got his number. I'm his Achilles heel. And Seth is just like, my life is over if I lose this damn match. So they're both taking it very differently. And, the Crown Jewel Championship is secondary. It's just a tool to get these guys to wrestle each other one more time.
I think that's a good point. And I did appreciate on Monday, as much as the segment had kind of like its pros and cons to it. Like, Paul Heyman tried his ass off to assign some meaning to this. And I think the fact that they set up this kind of ancillary aspect to it of, like, the seeds of dissension between Seth and Heyman, like, there's now so much pressure on Seth, self-inflicted. Now with Paul Heyman, he's supposed to be leading these guys, right? Like, if he's supposed to be molding the company in his image, what happens if he's just a big loser? Like, that doesn't that doesn't really help. But thank you guys so much for chiming in the chat. Let's see if we can get some of these chats going. Yes. Greg Cherry saying hello to the Friday night chat and to the ever wonderful yet internet stricken Kate and my week 9 fantasy football opponent Rick. Oh, love yins, go Steelers. Hell yeah, my fellow Steelers. Though I'm wearing Bengals orange by accident tonight, so we'll
are we mortal enemies this Thursday? Or am I even gonna care at this point?
It's so funny because I'm also a Yankee fan, so cut me some damn slack. But I was like, this is the most productive week the Steelers had, and it was a bye. Like, everybody else in the division lost, and we didn't do anything. So I was like, all right, that was a productive little bye week that we got going, but I'll take it. Orion Ben saying, Rick, you missed RJ City acting as security at New York Comic-Con.
And Darby Allin attacking John Moxley.
Were you at Comic-Con?
No, I wasn't. That's why I missed it.
I understand. You missed it.
I miss a lot of things. It's okay.
It happens. I'm very close to New York and didn't end up going, so don't sweat it.
I was gonna say, you're much closer to me. I'm still in Cincinnati, so.
You know what? I always get on these things late. There was a Fanatics Fest thing that I was like, I should have gone to that. But I didn't. I need to get better at opening my zeitgeist as to when things are actually going to be in my area.
They actually announced that Fanatics Fest is coming back next July in New York. So there you go. Tickets are going on sale next month. So
okay, well, I'm gonna see if I can sneak in without having to pay because I'm not. But
Well, that's why we got into media, wasn't it? So we could just get into places.
exactly. For everyone tells me it's for the access, Rick. Didn't you know? Well, now that I'm here and surprisingly stable on my internet, I feel like I gotta say, uh, I gotta be honest. Like everybody said, like, oh, this was such a great episode, and I feel like it was actually pretty medium. Like we still got an interference finish, we still got a DQ in this. I'm glad about the returns. I'm glad about the changes in themes because I complain about that every week. So I feel like maybe because I watched it after everyone was like, no, this was actually good. Maybe I'm just not grading on the same curve as everybody else because it was a step up from what we were getting the past couple weeks. I was expecting a little bit more with the way people reacted. Definitely steps in the right direction. But how did you feel? I've kind of felt like I was sold that this was like a little more legendary than it was.
So I do think definitely this was a little too overhyped. And one of the things for me, especially at the end of the night, I know we'll get to the main event later, but that was really what got me hyped. Was I'm like, oh,
Sure.
okay, Zelina and Aleister are together. Great. That is such a change in the they're doing something with Zelina. Okay, great. Awesome. I love it. So I thought that this was like gonna be hey, I'm here and I'm, me and my husband, joined forces to screw you over. Whereas this just seemed tonight to me anyway, like it was Zelina literally just out there begging for mercy for her husband not to get him killed. And then Aleister just took advantage of it. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. Still, they're doing something with them, but I was much rather just full on fledged. No, I'm a bad girl now, and it's me and my husband against the world. Like that's kind of the direction I thought they were going to go with it, and I'm just like, oh, this is different than what I was expecting. Okay, it's all right. So it's okay. It's all right.
Well, Rick, around here we break all the rules. Okay. I don't go chronologically. I go by the order that I want to go in. So if you want to talk the main event, let's talk the main event because I had a similar reaction. I was like, Zelina hasn't been a heel. Her and Aleister Black's characters don't seem like they belong in the same universe. I felt like this match was supposed to finally be a blow off to something that didn't have a lot of heat in the first place, and we still don't get like a clean finish out of it. So I was a little more down on it than a lot of people seem to be. I am glad that Zelina's getting screen time. They did nothing with her with the US title. She never gets to talk. Aleister Black, I feel like, has been very medium since he's come back. And I'm all for juicing up things like that. And I thought the match itself was really good. And last man standing matches are not normally my thing. These two have great in-ring chemistry. They're both great performers. I felt like they both really know how to speak each other's language in an in-ring sense. Like Aleister Black knows how to make Damian Priest look great. Damian Priest knows how to match pace with Aleister Black, I think, very well. And so I appreciate that. I just felt like this feud was rather heatless for most of it, and to not even get a proper blow off with the booking kind of left something for me to be desired. But I gotta say, like, the in-ring on this felt like a main event to me. I'll throw it back to you for more thoughts on our main event here.
Yeah, I agree with you on the in-ring. And I'm glad that they gave these guys a lot of time because it did feel like a pay-per-view level match. The problem, though, when you do that on SmackDown is you get not one, but two commercial breaks in the middle of this match. It's kind of
That's the other part.
Immediately takes me out of it. But I agree with you. The in-ring between these guys was great. Anytime that there is, some rough looking steel step spots, I'm just going to cringe in my chair because I still have nightmares of Drew McIntyre diving spine first into the corner of the steel steps. So it's like that's always one of those spots that's just going to get me. And, as they're like doing their dance around the steps, I'm like, Jesus, who's going to go through this thing? Just get it over with. And it was finally the meteor that Damian went through, and I'm like, okay, good. All right, it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad this time around. But I did like everything that was done. I liked Priest throwing him through with the razor's edge through the announce table twice, and him just barely being able to get onto his feet. And it was supposed to be academic at that point because it's like this man is done. If he didn't land on top of the announce desk, he's finished. It's over. And Damian's like, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna take you over to the equipment area. I'm gonna throw you off something high, through something hard, and you're not gonna get up. And then we had Zelina come through. What did you think of the fireball? The use of the fireball in this matchup? Because that was it's a choice. It's certainly a choice. I don't hate it because obviously it's a practical effect. It's something that Aleister can do practically, and if it's different than the powder or a fire extinguisher. It's something unique. We don't see it very often, but I know there are some people are going to go, oh no, not supernatural type, situation stuff. What did you think of the use of the fireball tonight?
I just think it's corny and unnecessary, to be honest. Like, he's the thing to me with Aleister Black is, while I appreciate how strong he can be on the character side, he's a badass in the ring, and I don't think you need to do too much more than that. So when you do fireball things, like, I don't know, like that's just in general, like that genre of wrestling doesn't tend to be for me in general. But I think of anybody who doesn't need it. I'm watching this guy's striking ability, and I'm like, I don't think this guy needs a fireball.
No, and I think it's another one of those things where it's like everything that they did to the finish of this match is one of the biggest crutches that WWE does, at least over the last few months, where it's like they're so focused on protecting everybody that nobody really truly goes over. And it's
so funny you say that, because I went on a rant here a couple weeks ago about that. Like, it's not just WWE. It's not just WWE. It's happening in AEW. Sports Illustrated is saying it's happening. We've gotten so protected that I feel like what being protected means has lost its meaning. Like, and to your point, when you're so protected, the payoffs don't really have the same hit. And the examples I always use, one of my favorite match endings that we've seen in the past couple years was Dax and Danielson, and Danielson had him in the omoplata, and he just couldn't find the ropes because his eyes were covered, and that was it. He had to tap because he couldn't see where he was, and he was reaching, he was flailing. That was it. And I'm like, to me, this is just my perspective as a wrestling fan, that reads as a protected loss because it was just a good wrestling ending, and Dex didn't look super weak for it. He didn't look like a baby for it. It was just, what the hell else am I gonna do?
right.
Right? So, like, I would much rather see more stuff like that, because to your point, who is getting over when the other person's so protected? It's like, it doesn't feel like the person actually beat the other person. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. One of the things that I've loved about SmackDown for the last several weeks has been Sami Zayn's United States Open Challenge. It's been the best match running since he brought it back as an homage to John Cena. Yet 3 of them have been either no contest or distraction finish. And I'm just like, we can't even put over Sami in this damn thing. Like,
in an open challenge run. Yeah, let's talk about that next, since you set up the segue so well for me, Rick. What a damn professional we have around these parts.
It's what I do.
The show by himself. Setting up my segues. We do have a returning Shinsuke Nakamura for this U.S. Open title challenge. Thank God his old theme is back. God, prayers have been answered.
I also think that played into the hype, and this is how simple people are. They're like, oh my God, we got 2 people returning and 2 different themes. This show is awesome.
Oh my God.
That's where a lot of the hype came from, I think.
You know what? I think part of why the returns were so impactful today is because we've been getting rematched to death all over the place, like on Raw, on SmackDown. So to have some new blood there is great. I'm a big Shinsuke gal. I can recognize that he is getting older. Like, some of his matches weren't what they maybe used to be in his prime of what we had kind of before his absence. But he's coming back to the U.S. title picture. And I have mixed feelings about that, because he should want his title back, right? Like, that makes sense. But also, there's so many things on WWE that I've seen before already, and I've already seen him go for this. But because it's an open challenge, I'm thinking this is not like an overly extensive program. And the Shinsuke Sami NXT match is always going to be something that gets kicked up when these two cross paths, and that ain't ever a bad thing. That's one of my favorite matches ever. So, what did you think, just in general, about the Shinsuke return and what he's returning to? And then we'll get into the match a little bit.
I thought this was his best match in a long time.
I agree.
A long time. Like I watched his United States title run this last time around, as many of us did, and I hate to say this, but I'm just watching this guy and I'm like, is he cooked? Like, is he done?
Yeah.
Like, he just look, and I don't know if it was just the style that he was going for, because we're so used to Shinsuke Nakamura, high energy, rock star, strike. This latest run that he had, and I honestly think that his old music kind of fit it too. He was just very slow and methodical and bruising, and more like a tactician, and just trying to outwit his opponent than necessarily be the kind of hard striking style that we've seen from him before, the more fast paced style. And I think bringing this back just worked for him. And it was like we were watching this man in slow-mo the last time he held the United States Championship. And then he comes out here with Sami Zayn and he's shutting people like me off. Like, no, I can still go. Like, I still got some juice left, and I'm very, very happy to see it. But I agree with you. This man has held the United States Championship, I believe, twice, maybe 3 times. And every single time they turn him into a parking lot. It's like, here you go. You can have the United States Championship. We're not going to do anything with it. You're going to defend it like twice, and then you're going to drop it. But here you go. Remember Shinsuke Nakamura? Remember that whole run? No one does. Don't remind me. Like, they don't do anything with him when he has it, which is why the finish infuriated me. Why are we protecting Shinsuke Nakamura? I don't believe this is going to be an extended program for the United States Championship. Why couldn't you have Sami win the damn match and then have the MFTs lay him out? Like, I have to see what the next phase is for Nakamura, but like, they haven't really invested in him in a long time. I can't imagine that he's going to be an integral part of this story between Sami and the MFTs moving forward.
So I'm with you on pretty much all of that. Like, I thought this match was the best one we got from him in a while. Maybe he just needed time to heal up. It's a brutal business on the body. I love this from Orion Ben, who says that he surfed to Australia, which is a fantastic thing here. But the pacing of this was much better than we've seen from Shinsuke before. And I actually liked, there were a lot of just very clever things Shinsuke was doing. And I think some of it got lost on the crowd because it was genuinely, like, there were things ring-wise. Like, I forget what it was. Was it they had 2 rings set up at one point and he was standing on the middle of them and he did something really clever? Like, there were certain things that were too clever that I don't think they read to a live crowd, because it's almost like when you watch something super technical, it's almost better to watch it from home, because
when he beat LA Knight, you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was a Survivor Series, and he like slammed his head on the metal strip that was
on
like
the in between, right?
In between, yes.
Yeah, there were like things like that. I think sometimes the live crowd doesn't pick up on because they're just a little bit like too close in or something, but
or too far away. Yeah.
They're too far to see it up close. But I liked him being tactical, but like getting to see the pace that we got out of him tonight, I felt like was awesome. Obviously very comfortable in the ring with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is going to give you great matches. Like, that's just what the dude does. He just delivers. Yeah. It's crazy. It's been one of my favorite things too. I'm with you on not getting clean finishes though. But Tama Tonga and Talatonga and JC Mateo and Tonga Loa.
Say those 3 names 3 times real fast.
I'm gonna just, you know what? The MFTs.
Tamatonga, Talatonga, Tongaloa. There you go.
The MFT, I understand why they have a 3-letter name now, because that was a lot to say.
I love how it's Tamatonga, Tongaloa, Talatonga, and JC Mateo. Like, one of these things is not like the other.
But they attack both guys, and my gosh, wouldn't you know it, we get a no contest, and Solo Sikoa appears afterwards, this is the weirdest turn that we've taken with Solo Sikoa. I will say this. One of the few heels that consistently is getting booed. And I've been waxing poetic about that for a while. There's a lot of heels that are getting cheered, and there's just a lot of top faces in general. Outside of Gunther, like the thing with Seth is like people actually really like Seth and they like to sing his theme. And the thing with the Bronze is they're badasses and everybody thinks they're really cool. So they're not really getting the reactions that we kind of need on a consistent basis. Like I will say this angle is working. I'm just very confused by the video packages that we got because Solo Sikoa was like, everyone has betrayed me. And it was like, well, one guy. One guy in your whole stable. But he was like, Tangaloa, you are my only friend. And then
he was like, oh, but I got these other 4 or other 3 guys. Yeah. I think maybe he was also talking about, Roman and the Usos as well, maybe mixed in with Jacob. Yeah. So,
but like the guys he assembled, and then he was like, we have a missing piece. And then I was like, it was the same piece, though. Like it wasn't.
It was still missing. They just needed to find him.
It felt to me like they were setting up a big reveal that was not revealed. It just felt like that guy who we've had around is now back. But we got Anthony Velasquez saying, though if Solo is, let's read these in a separate order. Seems like Solo and the MFTs are going to be involved in a few storylines going forward. Good for them after a weird absence off TV. And then also says, though if Solo is going to be coming after the U.S. title, that means the U.S. title open challenges might be ending for now, which sucks. It's been the best part of SmackDown. Let me say I agree with both parts of it. I definitely think that from a match quality and just refreshingly clean and simple pro wrestling angle, Sami Zayn holding an open challenge is about the wisest thing that you can do. I wish they did it to lift up more younger talent. I've been complaining about that for a long time, but they just don't have an interest in making new stars. It feels like.
I mean, to be fair, they did it with Leon
Javon.
Later. Thank you. Javon Evans. Jesus, it's late.
You're only 1 degree away from Kevin Bacon on that one, though. They're facing each other, so you weren't far off. I agree with that. And the absences, I thought SP3, who was in the chat earlier, I don't know if he's still there, but he made a really good point on our SmackDown post show last week that cage match that in real time we did not think was very good did a lot of damage because both of those guys' momentum just halted. And it feels like we never got the proper blow off from all of that. So I was like, you know what? That kind of was the moment. That kind of was the moment there that really just stopped both guys in their tracks. And I was glad he pointed that out because I was like, oh, you actually can specifically trace it back to one exact specific match. But what are your thoughts on that? Are you feeling like this is going to be the end of the open challenge? Do you think Fatu comes back for Solo? Like, what are we doing with this?
I feel like if Solo is back after they needed a refresh, right? They needed a refresh. I feel like they needed this break in large part because they had lost some momentum there. And I thought dropping the title to Sami was honestly the right choice. It's a great way to integrate Sami back into SmackDown. He finally gets a championship that hasn't won before and has been chasing. And, he used Solo as kind of a, what did he call it? An awakening, for him getting screwed out of the World Heavyweight Championship. And it was like, oh, hey, there's other things that I haven't done, including winning that belt that's around your waist right now. And it's been great as far as Sami is concerned, because again, what his open challenges have been the best thing on the show for the last several weeks now. Bringing Solo back and having him immediately come after the United States Championship, I feel like he has to win it back. Like if he comes in and with all of the muscle now, with the MFTs complete and whole and functioning on the same page, and no Jacob Fatu in their business now, if he loses to Sami again, hey, we're talking DOA. Like nobody's going to take these guys seriously, which is why I thought it was so important for Solo to win the United States Championship from Jacob Fatu. And I was genuinely happy when they did that, because I'm like, this guy has been jobbing out for a long ass time now. Can we get back to the Solo business? because this guy's really good if you stop and take a look at it. His heel work, he's genuinely hilarious. He can be entertaining when he wants to be. And it's like, why did it take so long for him to show any of his personality on television? Because he was just like this, the straight man, the quiet man, as far as the bloodline was concerned. And it's like he used to say, it's like, I'm the funniest one here. And he's proven it like week in and week out. So if he's back, he's got to beat Sami for that title, which is why I hope they don't rush into that, which is why I think it's nice that they're integrating themselves into multiple storylines, because you don't have to rush into everything at one time. Because if Sami Zayn is going to win the Royal Rumble and win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 42, mind you, he's going to have to drop the United States Championship beforehand. So you can slow play that and have that happen in late November, December. So I hope they don't dive right into that. And hopefully we still get some more US Open challenges in the meantime.
Yeah, my only issue with Sami winning this US title and going on this run was that he kind of proved Seth right. Like Seth was like, you're a loser, get out of here, go do something somewhere else. And he was like, you're right. Okay. But if he doesn't come back, and it feels like this is CM Punk's moment now. Like I feel like the Sami ship sailed in that regard. If he doesn't get to complete that arc with Seth, I feel like that's going to be really disappointing. I agree with you wholeheartedly about Solo Sikoa. A lot of people were really down on him. Once they stopped trying to make him mini-me Roman Reigns, everybody's opinion on that guy changed, I feel like. And it's really refreshing. And it's so funny because I watched him and I covered him when he was in NXT, and he was this very easy to root for babyface. And so when he started succeeding as a sarcastic heel, I was like, see, that doesn't fully surprise me, because there's something really likable about the sarcastic heel, but you boo him anyway, sort of thing. But like, I knew there was a personality in there that was waiting to bust out, and I'm very glad that it did. I'm very glad that it did. But guys, keep those super chats and humper chats coming. Please leave a thumbs up on this video as well. Please subscribe to Fightful Select. I know that's a laundry list of things to ask for you, but boy, oh boy, did we have fun with our new Debunkathon weekly feature today. There's some.
I just say I love that Sean is doing this, because there's so much ridiculous crap that comes out on Facebook. It's not even funny.
That's what once he saw the black hole of utter nonsense that was on Facebook, I think that's what pushed him to start doing this, because there are things that'll get like 10,000 likes and you're like, this is an AI photograph of Roman Reigns kissing the ghost of Eddie Guerrero, or like, it's insane what's going on over there, or just making stuff up. So once he saw that, well, he was like, let's have some fun behind the paywall with this Debunkathon, but also kind of like confirming rumors that have been out there of what he's heard, confirming other people's stories with our own information is also something that's going on back there. But it was a loaded week this week. I'm going to work on some social media graphics for our Debunkathon, because I just think there are very fun possibilities with such a thing. So
I just want to give this.
Let's keep it rocking and rolling with it. Amen. Amen, Megan. Stop using AI. We can always tell M-Dash's emojis. We can always tell. So knock it off.
It's getting harder. It's getting harder, which is the scary thing.
It is. The machines are getting smarter, but
remember when it was so easy? Like they'd have like 18 fingers or some shit, and you'd be like, oh, that's clearly fake. Clearly, they've stepped it up.
Some of them are still pretty bad, and I love that for us, because it's some of them are hilariously bad, But let's keep moving along. We talked about how the MFTs are involved in multiple storylines, so let's talk about this Wyatt 6 Street Profits match, where it seems like Uncle Howdy just straight up took Killer Cross's gimmick and is doing that now. But we have this fast-paced, very short match. The Profits almost winning with that double Doomsday blockbuster, which looked awesome, but Nikki Cross interferes, and holy hell, get her matches, please. Like,
oh my God, do something with Nikki, please. Good night.
But we get Loomis and Gacy hitting the Plague for the win. And post-match, we get the MFT faction confronting the Wyatts. I don't know what we're doing with the Street Profits. Like, I feel like anything that they tried to push heel-wise I just always find myself wanting to root for them.
They're awesome. That's why. They're both
Yeah,
awesome.
they're and just really likable, and they made the heel thing work, don't get me wrong, but, like, it all seemed kind of forced, and then the creative well for tag teams is so shallow because they have no idea what to do other than dissension, and, I think the world of both of these guys. I feel like the jump we saw in improvement for Angelo Dawkins was, like, unmatched for a while there. Montez Ford has always been like a freak of nature who should have broken out as a single star for a long, long time there. I just don't know. Oh, are they not on the same page again? Like it feels like we do this all the time. So that kind of bums me out. The Wyatt Six in the tag division, jury's still kind of out for me. Like I don't know if I quite buy it yet. But I feel like the MFTs are probably going to be covered in gold again sooner than later. I don't know how you beat a team of creepy murderers, but it feels like they shouldn't lose during Halloween season, Rick. That's where I'm at.
Well, here's the thing. You got to combat that with people in creepy face paint, which is, what the MFTs have done now. So they have now dressed themselves for the Halloween season to go after the Wyatt Six and just take their game, straight to them. And they actually have the numbers to do this. And this is my problem with every Wyatt Six match because it's ends the same. It's Eric Rowan gets involved or Nikki Cross gets involved, or if they get neutralized, well, here's Uncle Howdy to get involved. And then, they hit the plague and it's over. And that's pretty much what every Street Profits match has been. And the first time I watched it back, or the first time I watched the finish tonight, I really liked that because you really kind of sold that the Profits were going to do this, right? Because Dawkins plants Gacy, right? He planted Gacy. He tags in Montez. He takes out Eric Rowan on the outside. B-Fab and Nikki Cross were already down. And Montez Ford is going up for the frog splash. And you're thinking, oh, well, this sucker's over. And then Dexter pulls out Joe, whiff, and then they come in, they hit the plague. And I'm like, okay, that was a nice little finish. Then I watched the replay back and I'm going, wait a minute, hold on, timeout. Why did Gacy go from I'm down and out to let's hit our finish and go home in the blink of a damn eye? Like he was out of the ring and right back in full strength, ready to slam that man down. And I'm just like, the timing on that could have been a little bit better. The selling on that could have been a little bit better. But I thought the match was good. I didn't think the Profits were winning this. And I'm right there with you. It's like, okay, where do we go from here? Because they did, again, tease, oh, hey, maybe we'll split them up this time. Maybe we'll split them up this time. They're not splitting them up. You want to know how I know that? They gave them their old music back. They're not giving them their old babyface music back just to break them up a week later. So to me, you got two options. Move them to Raw, where they desperately need an additional tag team, or do something that they rarely ever do. Let the tag team guys stay together, but have singles runs. Like, you don't have to split up the Street Profits to have Montez Ford answer a Sami Zayn United States Open Challenge match. You don't.
I know that's right.
Like, can I tell you how genuinely pissed off I was last week when Angelo Dawkins came out for a dark match in Cincinnati, his hometown. I'm like, this mother ever should be answering Sami Zayn's United States Open Challenge. Now, I know why they didn't do it, okay, because Aleister Black answered it, and, there's always storyline reasons for doing it, but I would love to see Dawkins get a shot against Sami Zayn one-on-one. I'd love to see Montez Ford get a shot against Sami Zayn one-on-one. I'd love to see Montez Ford win that damn United States Championship because I feel like I'm one of the millions of people who have been pounding the desk for 4 freaking years saying, why isn't this man a single star yet? So do something like that with them. I really just hope this isn't a case of, okay, you've had your opportunity, you had the belts, you challenged for the belts, you lost for the belts. Now you're going to step aside, kind of like what we've done with DIY. And we've seen the DIY go back to NXT just to kind of stay busy. We don't really know what's coming up for them next. It's like there's such a deep tag team division on SmackDown. It's hard to constantly stay in that picture. We haven't seen the Motor City Machine Guns for a while. Like there's a lot of great Fraxium started off hot. now is only wrestling dark matches. So sooner or later, these guys are going to have to start shuffling in and out. Or like I said, you can move a couple of them to Raw because they need some more tag teams over there.
Rick, the tag team titles on Raw have not been defended since August.
One time in 100 days.
Insanity. And it's not like they're being held by slouches. We're talking Finn Balor and JD McDonough. I just want to see Finn Balor wrestle, man. Come on now. Well, Chisholm saying that MFT putting on the Gorillas of Destiny face paint is kind of hard. I can't disagree. The New Japan fan in me was happy about that. Will, also a new Fightful member on YouTube. We thank you so much for that. This just popped me that, oh my God, Blake Christian's reviewing Smackdown.
One of these days, I'm going to meet that man. We're going to do the Spider-Man point meme and take a photo of it. And
you'll have a vanilla baby Spider-Man meme. It'll be beautiful.
It's just because we're the two whitest men on earth. That's all. That's
That's it. No swirl there. Just.
If you want the Fightful swirl, check out SP3 and myself tomorrow night.
There you go.
New show.
I love that. Yeah, that we got a loaded weekend here at Fightful, by the way. We've got this show, we've got Grapsody, we've got Sean reviewing Crown Jewel, we've got the Collision review, we've got Bound for Glory, and we got that Monday morning Raw review. So we got a lot of content over the next 72 hours. Subscribe, please, please, please. My God, can you believe that there are losers that have nothing better to do on a Friday night than spam a chat where I can ban them?
Yeah, you just beat me to it. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, oh, let me get rid of that guy.
Oh my God, just get laid. That's all. It's Friday night, man. Go get laid. Read a book. Do something.
Maybe it was Big Stoke. You can't get no hose.
You know what? You raise a fair. When you're right, you're right. When you're right, you're right, Blake Christian. What can I say? But let's let's talk some women's wrestling.
About time.
Tiffany Stratton defeat Giulia and Kiana James because the only way they know how to set up a Tiffany Stratton feud is to have her tag with her opponent before facing them. They have no other ideas. They are fresh out. And they have no other ideas for the US title than to have the person holding that title also lose in weird ways, i.e. Chelsea Green's run was filled with her losing. Zelina's run didn't exist. And Giulia's run has been disproportionately bad compared to her abilities. I'll put it that way. But you saw the tension with Vaquer and Stratton. Surprise, surprise. Not a lot of trust there. But they do get the win. Stratton pinning James with the prettiest moonsault ever after Vaquer hits that top rope dive. This feud has been poorly built. I think the match will be incredible. Yep. I hate catchphrase builds, which is all this was. I'm going to prove that La Primera is number 2. Tiffy time is over. Knock it off. These are women. These are full-grown women. Full-grown badass women who know how to wrestle. Like, please, for the love of God, give them something with more substance to it. That being said, this match is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see them lock up. They kind of just missed each other in NXT, but they were a few months apart. So them crossing paths, I think, is going to be fantastic. Stylistically, I'm really looking for this one to blow expectations out of the water. But what have you thought about tonight's match and the build going into this? And what are your expectations for the match?
What build? I mean, like, in all sincerity, like, that is such an evergreen statement. Well, the build sucks, but we know the match is going to be great. Like, yeah. I feel like that was half of the evolution part.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they had like 3 of and I say half because they had like 3 of their longest running storylines conclude at Evolution, and those were well built, and you know, I thought those were especially culminated well with Naomi winning the title in the main event. But yeah, a lot of that show was thrown together last minute, and I feel like they have been doing this with Tiffany for months,
over and over again.
Months. Like, her match at Evolution was like I have been told by Nick Aldis that I can choose my opponent, and I choose WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. Oh my God, what a surprise. Let's go out there and wrestle. And I still got it. And it was a great match. And yes, Trish still has it, but that build was awful. And it was like, what, 2 weeks long? Her entire program with Jade Cargill was, hey, I won the Queen of the Ring. Cool, let's wrestle. And then they didn't put them on TV for like weeks. And then Tiffany beat her clean as a sheet in 8 minutes. And then it's been nothing but I want my rematch, I want my rematch, I want my rematch for weeks. And then Nia Jax shows back up because sure, we've run out of opponents already for Tiffany Stratton. So let's throw her back in the mix. And you still haven't really beaten me. Well, she beat her last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever that match was. And now it's just like, hey, I'm number one. No, I'm number one. Okay, let's fight. And it's like, it's so paint by numbers. There's nothing for her to dive into from a character standpoint. All of her promos are, like you said, catchphrase spam. There's no story with her. Her title run in the ring has been excellent. Her title run in the ring has been really good. Even when people say her bad matches or her some of her matches have been bad, I still don't even think they've been that bad. Watching it back, I thought her match with Charlotte at WrestleMania was better than people gave it credit for. But like this storyline standpoint, it's almost like they don't trust her with a microphone after she went off cuff against Charlotte, in all sincerity.
I can see why you would draw that conclusion because she hasn't really had like any fire to her since then. So I agree wholeheartedly with you on that. I feel like her whole NXT run, which was the extent of her career, let's not forget, was a heel. Like she's one of the few people in NXT that they didn't really test the waters out on both sides. And she just comes across so much more comfortable as a heel, and her character archetype lends itself to being a heel. So I hope when the time does come for her to lose that they consider a heel turn in that. Certainly feels like they're waiting for Bianca, because if it ain't Bianca, I don't know who it is. But to your point, like, I don't think that Trish Stratus and Stephanie Vaquer should have the same build to a match with Tiffany Stratton. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't be using, no offense to Trish Stratus, but like one of the most capable in their prime wrestlers in the world, man or woman, should not have the same build as like, hey, you're a legend, get off the bench for this all women's pay-per-view. So I'm with you entirely on that. Let's round out.
This is the match I'm looking forward to the most tomorrow because it's gonna hump that much. Like it's gonna be excellent.
It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be incredible. I'm looking forward to it. And you know what? There's so many different ways that you can watch these PLEs nowadays, but a lot of them got real expensive. Not with NordVPN though. Okay, you can just watch everything on Netflix. You don't have to keep track of 9,000 freaking logins. You don't have that login fatigue. But why would I tell you about it when Sean Ross Sapp could tell you about it right now?
If you're a wrestling fan and you're frustrated with all the services you need to watch all the different wrestling shows, Fightful has your solution with nordvpn.com/Fightful. Change your virtual location with just one click, and you'll be able to watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and PLEs on one Netflix account. You'll also be able to get a lot of pay-per-views at a much more affordable price than you do here in the United States. This is a must-have for wrestling fans. That way you don't have to have 7 different accounts to watch all of the shows that you want to watch. In addition to that, they have a great 30-day money-back guarantee and an incredible deal right now going on. But that's far from it. You can protect yourself on their VPN service, the fastest in the world, shield your data from snoops and criminals, protect yourselves on public Wi-Fi, and it's available on all your devices and operating systems. NordVPN.com/Fightful.
Yeah,
NordVPN. They are genuinely, like, of all the partners that we have, the one that we get the most consistent, like, thank you so much feedback around, because we just are saving people money and it absolutely rules. Win-win-win. Everybody wins with NordVPN. Let's talk about this backstage segment, and then we're going to give you not only our predictions, but our My Bookie odds as well. We do get this quick Charlotte Flair and Alexa package backstage where they grant Zol Ruka a tag title shot, and then The Miz cutting a heated promo on Carmelo Hayes for wasting his mentorship. Let me tell you how much I need that to be a one and done and not a trilogy that we will inevitably get. But any thoughts on that?
I did like the Miz's promo tonight. He's always been a great promo. And when he's fired up and he's got some juice behind him, he's right up there with the best of them. But I loved also the little dig where he was like, you look, I offered you mentorship, friendship. I wanted to take you to the top. You missed out on this opportunity. So I thought that was a nice little turnaround. I know you were dogging on the catchphrase spam earlier, but I thought this was a nice turnaround and throw it back in his face kind of a thing. And I also liked him getting snippy with Kathy, where she's like, why did you turn your back on Carmelo? And he was like, I'm insulted by the damn question, because he clearly turned his back on me first. Unbiased journalist, but
air quotes journalist.
Yes, I did. I enjoyed the Miz's promo. I wanted a little bit more out of the women's backstage segment. Again, they didn't have a whole lot to work with as far as content is concerned, because I feel like there's a whole nother level that Charlotte and Alexa can go to as a team, as a tandem, that they just haven't really been given the TV time to do, because they've now reached this point in their tag title run where it's like, okay, well, we beat Roxanne and Raquel, and we beat the Kabuki Warriors, and we beat the other team on SmackDown. Oh, we beat the Secret Hervis, and now we're out of teams. And so now where do we go? What do we do? Well, let's try to put over this NXT group, and they really haven't done a whole lot with them. And then I think they took them off TV for a couple of weeks. Like, Charlotte wasn't cleared to wrestle, but I think that was kind of like also a cover for Piper Niven's injury. So it's like, I don't really know what was going on there. They had so much momentum coming out of Evolution and when they won the tag titles, and it just feels like it is slowed to a crawl. And I would love for them to get heated back up again.
Yeah, SP3 and I talked last week too about how like they went from this really organic pairing to feeling kind of slapsticky. And I feel like I'm all for like fun comedic stuff, but it went from feeling really organic to really contrived. And when you also don't have like real deal competition on the other side of things, that makes it tricky. We even have a women's title match on this Crown Jewel card, but it's just to get Rhea on there with Io. So it doesn't feel like the tag titles in the women's division are important again. Surprise, surprise. So, but at least we have them. I'm still waiting on this damn tournament from AEW. So kind of ridiculous considering we had a one women's segment on all of Dynamite in the extended run on Wednesday. So need women's wrestling to stay a priority, but let's talk some My Bookie odds on this PLE tomorrow if we have them up, which we may not. Hold on just a moment. I have prop bet odds for WrestleMania, but I don't know if I have Crown Jewel odds. 1 second. Jewel odds. Not my best. Not my best. There we go.
I bet I could pick the favorites.
I know. I was going to say it's a little bit predictable here, but where do you fall on the men's Crown Jewel match, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins? I got Seth favorited here.
Yeah, look, like I said before, while your internet was acting up earlier in the show, Cody owes Seth one, like big time. He owes this man. When Cody showed up at WrestleMania 38 and he needed somebody to put him over in a major way, it was Seth. This man lost to him inside of a Hell in a Cell with one working pec. He gave up everything he had to put the WWE Championship around Cody Rhodes' waist. Cody owes this man. Seth Rollins is going to win tomorrow.
Yeah, and I honestly think that's the more interesting call maybe for both of them. Like, Cody needs a minute to not be so damn invincible, and Seth needs to prove to Paul Heyman himself and his squad that he leads that he's capable. And yeah, he's got to get a win over Cody here. Well, this is going to surprise you, but John Cena is favorited at a -1,000 last time checked here. He's beating AJ Styles, right?
Yes. Yes. Which
Fair.
It just makes. I'm still pissed about the WrestlePalooza match. Like, so much I'm pissed about that WrestlePalooza match still, because John Cena was on a heater heading into that. He had one of the best matches he's had in 10 years against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. He followed it up with a really good match against Logan Paul. He followed it up with a great match against Sami Zayn for the United States Championship, even though it didn't have a clean finish. And then we got that finisher spam BS squash match from Brock Lesnar. And I'm like, why? And then John Cena's been gone from TV, and this entire match is built on, hey, remember those few matches we had back in 2016 and 2017? Those were awesome. We should run that back. Cool. Great. No build whatsoever. It's still going to be a really good match, but yeah, John's going to win.
I agree. Now, this one was an interesting one. I want to make sure I have the most up-to-date ones because I pulled up our last article with them, and sometimes they change week of. So let me double check this, because Tiffany was slightly favorited over Steph for this. And I kind of feel like in a non-title match, Steph is the one that should win here because it doesn't really affect anything. Where do you sit on this one?
Yeah, so Tiffany's Tiffany's undefeated this year. Tiffany has not lost. She's beaten Charlotte at WrestleMania. She's beaten Trish Stratus. She's beaten Bayley. She's beaten Nia Jax. She's beaten Jade Cargill. Like, she has run the gamut on everybody. She loses nothing by losing this match. She doesn't lose her title. She doesn't do anything. But what it does is it sets up Stephanie Vaquer to really kind of establish her, because this is her first singles match since winning the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Like, the win just means more to her. And you still keep the title on Tiffany after this. So, yeah, to me, it's a no-brainer. Stephanie should win this.
I agree. I think an establishing win for Steph would do wonders as she's getting her title reign underway here. And Tiffany, I feel like her getting handed a loss here is not a bad call. It's not a bad call at all.
It might actually do something for her character, too, the fact that she actually lost a match.
Yeah, we could knock something loose in this, We could knock something loose in this. Who do you have winning the women's tag match? I'm thinking Rhea and Io winning their hometown and her home country. But do you feel like the dissension catches up here?
I feel like Kairi Sane, who has been the MVP of this build, by the way, is the one to watch.
Okay.
Kairi Sane, who is, the fourth wheel, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
She has been a joy to watch, just the torment that she has been going through, watching her friends, her family, like having this falling out and like having to take these marching orders from Asuka, and just her undying loyalty to this woman that she has to physically assault, like her good friend. And eventually that's going to come to a head where she's like, I can't do it anymore. Like, I'm just not going to. And she's going to turn on Asuka. I would kind of hope that that's somewhere down the line and we don't rush this thing, but I feel like it's going to happen tomorrow. Kairi Sane is the person to watch in this matchup, and she may finally get tired of Asuka's crap. She may not attack her, but she may walk out on her and then leave Asuka to go 2-on-1 against Rhea and Io. And then it's just going to be academic at that point. I like Io and Rhea to win this.
Rhea and Io at a -800 for this. And to your point, I mentioned this on our Monday night show on Select. It's kind of cool that Kairi is the linchpin of this story. Like, I don't think we've ever seen her get to be a spotlight. And this version of Asuka, I think, has been mostly pretty fun. It's gotten a little heavy-handed at certain points, but like Kairi, it's just a matter of time here. So I'm interested to see how that goes. But you know what? You can get all the underdog lock picks that we can get our hands on FightfulSelect.com. We do have a Discord there if you want to hang out with normal people and not complete weirdos like the guy that was spamming us in the chat before. But you can hang out
It's
in a
one.
curated
There's
environment.
4 of them.
Oh my gosh, I was just like, just block. Like I was bam, 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 bam. The power that comes with this. But I would encourage you to subscribe to the Fightful Select Discord as well. When you subscribe to the Fightful Select, you get those underdog lock picks. You can make some money on pro wrestling. We have a pretty stellar rate. I think we have missed either 0 or 1. So you got a good chance with Fightful Select guidance. The Discord also has an Ask SRS channel, so you can just bug Sean, which I feel like is an underrated feature. I like to bug Sean a lot. Usually not about wrestling, usually about your Bengals or just to be annoying in general. But if you guys keep it on subject, he will get answers for you.
Even
So
if
head
it's a
over to
question
Fightful
that he's answered 100 times, like what's going on with Britt Baker's contract status.
Yeah, you could ask him about Britt Baker, for example. That's a But Rick, it's about drive, it's about power around here. Okay, you don't run from the grind like my internet did earlier. You've got the Collision post show tomorrow. You're writing. You've got a lot going on. You had a little easier today because we had this 8 a.m. airing, which is not a bad way. Not a bad way to handle things. But where can people find you?
Yeah, so the simple way to do it is on X still. That's the one platform that I actually check on a daily basis, even though it's terrible. So if you're there, you can follow me at Rick Ucchino, which is spelled just like you see on the screen, just no space between the K and the U. That's the one-stop shop for all of my work, whether it is for SiriusXM covering the Cincinnati Bengals, or whether it's for the Takedown on SI. All of my interviews and thought pieces go up there for Sports Illustrated. And again, I'll apologize for SI just annoying everybody with the Becky Lynch promos. We didn't know that was going to turn into I feel like we got go away heat at this point. Like the entire staff just has go away heat anytime that Becky says it. But thankfully, some other outlets have smartened up and have started to name her the greatest female of all time. I'm really surprised that it took them that long to do it, because she's starting to name them as well. So it's not just us anymore. So, but yeah, again, follow me on X. That's where you're going to find all my work. And I'll be back here tomorrow night with SB3 and hopefully Arythmia.
Rick, there is a phrase that I won a lot of arguments with my sister against, which is "you started it." All right, you started it at Sports Illustrated. So, Sports Illustrated is saying it. Several other locations are saying it, but it does look like, I didn't check this, but well-intending people in the chat have said that Wesley is among the releases from. It sounds like Evolve is not in a great place so much at the moment. He's a fantastic talent. Zeta Steel also not renewing. Several other talent that were unfortunately released, including Kylie Ray, their champion, Smiley Kylie. I always just say it's just the worst thing when people lose their dream jobs, and it's one of the, outside of Bray Wyatt's passing and having to talk about that right after it happened, and having to talk about Briscoe's passing as well right after it happened. It's the worst part of what we do, because there's human beings behind all of this, and people, especially at the Evolve level, who are trying to make their dreams come true. And so just our hearts at Fightful go out to them. That Wesley news is a little surprising to me, because he had some serious success at NXT before this heel run that didn't go quite the way that they wanted to. But quite frankly, I'm surprised that they would let him on the free agent market. He could be a mega star, but the full list looks to be Wesley, Stevie Turner, Lance and Hawaii, Gintala, Draco, Knox. I hope I'm saying that. I'm not really up on my Evolve so much, but Hayes Jameson, Summer Sorrell, BJ Ray. That's a surprising one if you watch SB3's The Sweet C-Suite every week on In the Weeds, and Jamar Hampton. So our best thoughts with them. I did just want to make note of that, since that's kind of breaking news as we got here. Anything that you want to mention, Rick, feel free to, but don't feel pressure to, as we're kind of trying to sign off here.
No, it's just really, really weird. That Wesley one does not make any sense whatsoever. Like, I don't feel, obviously you don't feel great anytime somebody loses their job, but I mean, at the same time, they have so much talent at the developmental center, and people who are just waiting to get on TV, and it's just part of those things where it becomes a numbers game. And this is unfortunately something that has happened in my industry. I work at iHeartMedia. You may have heard that we had mass layoffs across the country, and we lost several of our people in our Cincinnati cluster. And it's been a really, really tough week. So, obviously my heart goes out to anybody who's affected by something like that.
Yeah, and that's why I always tribalism is stupid for several thousand reasons, but at the end of the day, it's good when people have other places to go work, right? Like there's not a lot of jobs in this industry, and the more promotions there are that can kind of be alternative places for talented wrestlers to go and work, is healthy for the industry. So watch what you like, but keep in mind that having alternatives is a good thing for wrestling, because it gives wrestlers places to work. So our thoughts go out to the released talent. I'm sure that Sean will have any updates available that he can for you guys. That stuff is never paywalled. We don't do that with injuries and releases and things of a sensitive nature in general. So there is a free tier at Fightful Select, however, where you can get that information. So thank you so much for watching tonight. We're going to get out of here. Check out more of Rick, Blake, Ucchino, Christian on the Collision Post Show with SB3 tomorrow. I will be on Fightful Select with a Crown Jewel review. I'll tell you what, we're not waking up at 8 a.m. to watch it. We'll be doing that on delay. So
I will be. I'm running the live blog for the Takedown on SI, so you can join me.
So Rick is going to have some coffee. You can hang out with him, but Alex Pulaski and I will be on Fightful Select later. So you can keep an eye out there. Stay tuned for Grapsody. Stay tuned for the Collision review. Stay tuned for Bound for Glory as well. Take care. We'll see you next week.